researchers in my previous organization spent a lot of time doing things the manual way. One study for 30 ingredients will take approximately 2 to 3 weeks. We are saving 2 to 3 weeks of lab time by just looking at the ingredient analysis alone.
Better than human. I mean, I wouldn't be able to ask you this kind of question.
This is quite eye-opening for me, and will take some time to digest, but I'm very happy with the results to see that something that would have taken a long time has the potential to just take a few seconds.
Hi everyone, I'm Eric, host of the Code with podcast. I'm a vibe coder and I've been coding for the past 1.5 years using English. And with me, I have Yaohong, founder of Super User HQ, who is also exploring the frontier of using AI to transform organizations. And with us, we have our very special guest, Aidil. Aidil is an ex-scientist from a global FMCG company, and we are super glad that you could join us today, Aidil. Thanks for joining us.
Very happy to be here. I saw what you've done in your previous episodes, so I'm excited to see what we can build together today.
Yes, all right. Yeah, it's really nice to get a wide variety of different industries. And today we are going to dive into the world of an FMCG scientist. Aidil, could you just explain a bit more about the problem that you faced and how you hope to approach this problem?
Yeah. Okay. Well, day to day, our product researchers, we have to conduct competitive landscape of other products out there. We want to understand how these ingredients are being used, what is the order of these ingredients, because that determines how much of it is inside. And lastly, also, how do these ingredients change with time as well? So to do this, currently, the researchers in my previous organization, they spent a lot of time doing things the manual way. So they would have to gather information from a chemical database. That would be the primary source. So it would take about one whole day to compile all of this information into one sheet, because we have to cross-check and get several other information as well from different websites. And I think that's what clicking from one website to another to keep searching for all of this, putting it into that tiny search bar, that's what really stops us from being faster. Yeah. So we were.
I'm curious, Aidil, is there like a database available out there that? Because I'm sure you're not the only ones searching for this kind of stuff, right?
So there are databases available. They are available through APIs. So we have to create a program to call call
API,
this.
Okay. Need to pay?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I have a table of which one we need to pay, which one we is behind the paywall. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe if I were to just share my screen and Aidil, you can talk through a bit more about what you're thinking about. I'm just sharing my screen right now. And then there were 2 sheets, right, you sent me. Do you want to go through one of them first, or?
Yeah. So the first one is a product ingredient list. On the left, you see the actual product name itself. Then on the rightmost column is the individual ingredients that you get when you copy and paste this from a website.
Yeah. This
So
reminds me of like when you eat food as well. Like I mean, like if you want to be healthier, you look at. You want the first one to be like healthier, right?
Yeah. Then you need to also see whether this particular ingredient is a sneaky way to hide that actually there's a sugar. For example, sugar cane extract. Actually, it means sugar.
But okay, sorry, back to this ingredient list for this Nizoro anti-dandruff shampoo. There's a product on the left and then ingredient on the right. And then this continues for like many rows.
For many rows, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So this is typically what we see, and we would start to compile it as well. The step before this is that we have to copy paste it from the individual websites, and we need to go to the individual company websites as well, which will give us the full list of the ingredients.
Okay, so how is that related to this example data, or is not?
So
is it related?
Yeah. So then from this list of ingredients, right, how it goes to this sample data is that from each ingredient that we have, we're going to have to look at the related chemical properties and the chemical structures. So all these weird numbers that you see over here are actually the molecular formula, which would be helpful to the product researchers as well as the formulators to understand what are the type of behavior that the ingredient will exhibit. Okay. So that's for that. And one thing as well, I included.
Sorry. When you talk about what it will exhibit, what do you mean by what behavior it exhibits?
Basically, it will tell us how the ingredient behave lah. Whether it's actually more thick, more thin, whether it is actually acidic, whether it's actually basic. So all of these things tell us, give us an indication lah, what is the function of the ingredient inside the formula itself.
And you get that through the, like, example, the molecular weight and all this kind of stuff, is it? Like
correct, yes. So all of these numbers and additional information, all of these numbers, they are also helpful lah. Like it tells us whether this ingredient, does it dissolve in water or not? Yeah, if it dissolves in water, then the formula will be very easy to make lah. If it doesn't dissolve, then we have to find out how the competitor did it lah. Yeah.
So if I were to summarize the steps, there are 3 main steps. So you basically get a product from your boss or something, and then
no, not
you need
my
to...
boss. My boss will kill me if I ask. So we have to go to the company website itself and get the list of ingredients.
So you go to your company website, you get the product, right? Then you get the list of ingredients.
Correct.
Then after that, from the list of ingredients, you look at the related, you extract out the chemical properties through sources. And in this case, the sources are called PubChem, PubChem, and INCI Decoder, INCI Decoder.
Yeah.
Okay. And you need to do this for how many products?
Usually for a single competitive scanning, it would be 30 products plus minimum. It can go up to 60, 100, depending on the scale of the study.
Okay, so this is part of a broader study that you typically do in your workday.
Yeah, this would usually be step 0 of a lot of other steps to do. And if we look at it, the information itself is very useful for us, but the process of compiling it makes us wonder why there isn't a faster way to do it for now.
Okay.
I'm curious, if you have done this for a while, isn't there some kind of list somewhere already that contains some of this information?
Yes. Right.
So
you're
they're
right.
like cross-reference or
Ctrl+F.
Yeah, you're right. So there is. Usually, most of the time, this would be. If you don't mind me diving a bit deeper because you asked this question, so it will be held by expert formulators lah, or senior formulators, whereas that job role for a formulator is sometimes very different from the job role of a product researcher who has to do the competitive scanning.
But then glycerin is a very common ingredient,
it's just an example. So the reason why I use glycerin, because it can also be found as glycerol, as a salt. So it's a very interesting case because you have a lot of different synonyms for it. And that is what I wanted to see. Yeah, can we actually list down what is the correct listing from a synonym of glycerin, for example, glycerols, things like that.
Because if I was the one doing this, let's say this is my job every day, I'll probably have a spreadsheet containing some of the things that are quite common already. Then I can just copy and paste from there for some of this, right? Or do you do it from scratch all the time?
No. So other than not so common would be things like your botanical extracts, which depending on the flavor of the day, what the competitors are looking at, it will change from time to time. So the type of botanical extracts that the competitors use will be very different from what they were using, from the type of botanical extracts that they are using.
Oh, you mean the products can change in terms of the ingredients?
Definitely.
You mean the products will change over time, even if the same brand, same
Yeah.
product?
Same brand, they will sell different variants also. Yeah. So you guys need to pay more attention to your wife's to your wife's bathroom shelf. You will know that the reason why shampoo they can make money is because women they will keep changing the flavor, the fragrance every time. Yeah. So it's always
Right.
a game of finding the right fragrance, the right ingredient to get people to start buying. You will see that bathroom shelf, they will use halfway and then they will go and buy another bottle. Why? It's because they
That
want to try
explains all the
it.
bottles in my bathroom.
Exactly. Yeah.
My shampoo is always the same.
Yeah. This is really deeply into the consumer behavior. Yeah. So that's why the the type of thickener that we use is also very, very is also very important to the ingredient list as well.
How about let's start the ball rolling, right? Let's find a product. I'm curious now how what goes in and the attributes that we can get
Yeah.
from
Yes.
your point of view, right? Just by reading an ingredients list.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm super curious.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
again, you have to um you have to forgive me if my information is not so correct because my role is adjacent to a formulator. So there are some things that I pick up which are correct, and there are some things that a formulator would know better lah. Yeah. Do you have
It's
the
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm just going to get my Claude Code up. So I will sacrifice my computer for this and run it dangerously. Let's just do a rough prompt and then feel free to correct me. You are a researcher in a global FMCG company and you are to help me to automate a process. Step 1 is identifying a product or list of products to analyze. Step 2 is taking the ingredients. Step 2 is taking out and extracting ingredients from the ingredient list of a product. Step 3 is after we got all the ingredients, we need to get.
Find the chemical properties.
Please continue.
Yeah, to find the chemical properties as well as the function as it relates to a cosmetic product.
Let me just paste that in first. I am going to paste in an example of the properties that we need
Yep.
with the sources of the information in the row above. Of course, this is not the most ideal way to structure the data. I understand that, but feel free to restructure the data in ways that would be more appropriate as well. Yeah,
Okay.
Yaohong, anything to add on this prompt or any critique?
Actually, why not? Why didn't you just put the file inside the drive, the folder? I mean,
Yeah,
actually might be more
true.
accurate if you do that instead of copy and pasting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you just copy in and then you say the file is here. This is our reference. Yeah.
Yep.
Or any other files that is
Okay.
relevant to this. Yeah.
I am just going to drag in the files. Please find the files here. So there's the ingredient list.
Let's do the add sign. The email though. Yeah. Then date ingredient list. Yeah, there you go. Tab. Then press tab.
Okay.
Tab. Yeah, there you go. You didn't know this?
No. I usually
Okay,
just
now
drag it in. Example data.
Okay. Yeah, but you can do this also.
Okay, so I'm just going to give a bit of commentary. So ingredient list is where we, based on the products, extract ingredients based on what is stated on the website.
Correct.
And then we want to list every single ingredient in a separate row. Then on the example data, this is kinda the output we want, but please structure so it looks cleaner. as well. We want to do this for, let's just say 10 products today to test if it works well.
Okay.
I'm just going to turn on plan mode. So that's important because if you jump too fast into coding, then you might not get what you want.
And you won't be able
So
to.
every you screw up a bit. So you see that's why when you copy and paste, it would
Yeah.
have been confusing. See how the multi-line broke the ingredient list, you see?
Yes.
So that's one issue when you want to copy and paste from Excel or something.
Yeah, it's true. I think I would push back also that when I do this, it can actually understand
You figure
what
it out,
the table look like.
Okay,
And
because there's a
yeah, it's like the spacings and stuff like that. It
spacing.
manages to do that. And then when I do this for like simple, business stuff, for Excel, when I copy and paste, it's actually like perfectly accurate back into an Excel sheet. So it actually still kind of works. Yeah.
What is the kind of data structure that you would suggest for this? Because you were mentioning that this is not the most appropriate or the most clear.
I personally would have the sources in a column.
Okay.
And then each of these kind of, maybe glycerin can repeat itself, but have
Understand. So it'll be a tall column.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like
each row.
Product, ingredient, property, value, and then source.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. How should the output be structured? Okay, very nice. Okay, so Aidil, when you look at this, which tool do you prefer?
Yeah. One thing that I find suspicious is the last column. It just says PubChem. And I think like the human sense interpretation of it is that, like just now what we discussed, that should have been the source lah. The source. A lot of these researchers, they just want everything in one glance lah. They would rather have a long, which is I think the reason why I put it in that format in the first place. Yeah. So the single sheet. Let's try the single sheet first and see how it turns out.
Edge cases. How should we handle ingredients PubChem can't resolve cleanly?
Flag it out.
Flag it out. Okay, so it's the first one, right? Pre-clean, and then do the best effort and flag it out. Where should this run in? A Python script.
Yeah, I have a question. The expected output after we do all of this prompt is that, how did it know what's the expected output? Is when we were going through the options, the interview questions that Claude Code was asking us.
Correct.
Yeah.
I see.
It inferred from the files that we sent on how it should look like already.
Okay.
Right? But then because it was unclear, that's why there were some clarifications that you asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool actually. Better than human. I mean, I wouldn't be able to ask you this kind of question.
I was telling Aidil we are the AI today because I have no idea what this all is. Okay, so it has written a plan.
This is the plan.
Okay.
Now it generates a plan before it starts coding. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I would press enter, but I think it's good to take it slow just so we don't waste.
Today you're changing your style.
Yeah, I'm changing because I had another session with my cousin who's a software engineer. And he grilled me basically for being a bit too fast. So just to summarize, this is a research piece for Aidil, FMCG scientist. Right? We want to run a test run on 10 products and X number of ingredients. This is a one-off thing, not a long-lived tool. Okay, so the decisions, number one is a single flat sheet. Number two, there is a source column of the two sources that you mentioned. Number three, there is a function field. Number four, edge cases. So if you can't find it, what happens? Number five is the implementation of the Python script.
Okay.
And then in terms of the output schema and the kind of ingredient information that we want, these are the list. Aidil, feel free to stop us anytime.
I just wanted to take a look again at the second source because I saw something called derived. What does that mean?
INCI name.
Yeah.
So it will use the INCI Decoder page title if available. If not, then
so that's why it's making a decision for itself.
Yeah, I think it might have.
Fallbacks.
Fallback.
Fallback just means like if you don't get the thing you want, then what's the most like reasonable thing to do? Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then PKA is not very available with the API. Yaohong.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So and then for pre-cleaning, there's a pre-cleaning step, which
Basically, it's trying to clean up the active ingredient names lah. Like it will take out active from here.
I don't like
numbers
this.
also. Actually,
Yeah.
some of it might be useful. I don't know when it comes to the color code
Okay.
mapping and all that. What does this use? Is this used?
I would say the first two are important, right? Because sometimes this
Yeah.
the
First, you need to
search-
know the actual thing, right?
Yeah, the database is sometimes quite sensitive. Like you have this in the brackets, and then it's going to return a negative result. And I think that's why it made the active decision to do that, because this might be
Okay.
how to say, like something
Okay.
that Click already knows lah. Same
Okay,
thing
so
with
you
water.
will you keep it?
Yeah.
I think it should be kept this way.
Yeah.
You scroll up again. Do we have the pre-clean name? Down to the columns again. Yeah.
A column. Okay. Okay.
Imagine the
cool.
researcher have to manually remove. Rather than do that, now
correct.
it's Claude doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Makes sense. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just get an example of this? Like, if I look at this, is this the right page or is it
Correct.
the other page?
Yeah. Go back.
It's the first page, yeah.
This page.
So can
we can look at this one. The head and shoulders, classically.
Yeah.
The active. So it will say that this is the active.
Oh, so we
ingredient.
want this thing.
Yeah, correct. So we
zinc.
want
Okay.
the pythiron zinc. We don't
Okay,
want
so that's
the
exactly
words
what
in
they
the
said.
active.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So then I think this will be put into a Python script, and then this is the script structure.
Okay to me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then there's a caching, which I guess is like saving.
Okay, I guess you don't need to hit again because it's the same ingredient. It assumes there will be some. I see out of 240 rows, only 133 are.
Okay, so this is the problem where you have the same ingredients, right? So you don't want to have duplicate rows, which makes sense as well. So and the rate limit is for just to make sure that
5 requests per second. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, just to make sure that if you get stuck, then it continues so that it doesn't get stuck. Some limitations, PKA will be left blanked, and then PubChem CID wins.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that true? Ideal.
Correct. Yeah. So
Only paid then can get.
you're talking about the first point?
Yeah, the first one PK.
No,
Yeah.
it's not, because I managed to look at the website, like the PubChem website. You look into it, it will be there. It's one of the first page properties already. You don't need to.
Oh, but the
you don't
website,
need to
but
in-
the API may not have.
The API may not have. Okay, then
Yeah.
maybe that one I'm not sure. I've never
Hello.
personally used their API, so we are learning.
Actually,
things together.
we should let's verify that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then it's very different from calling API versus scraping the website. It's quite a different task.
So which one should we do, as in for the PKA thing? PKA is left blank. This is only true if we use API. So if API doesn't have, please use the website. Please just scrape the website. Yeah.
But if your website has all the data, you don't need to run 2 times, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Scrape the website.
Scrape the website.
Actually,
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, I'm very
Correct me.
curious. I want to go and find the API now just to verify this claim.
Okay.
Give me a second. Yeah.
Same for strip in. Can I say this for the strip ingredient suffix as well? Should we just get it to do it?
So
manually?
I think basically anything in the parentheses can be ignored. Anything in parentheses in brackets can be ignored.
Okay. And then for any other things for the limitations to call out, we're trying to overcome the limitations now, right?
Yeah, I got something. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So Claude is right that there's no PKA property because in the API, because it says that PKA is an experimental annotation rather than a computed property. So if you want to retrieve it programmatically, you must use the PubView API. Let me put in the chat. Wait.
Gotcha.
It's still within PubChem's website. It's just
I don't need to copy paste it. No, I have comprehended it in my brain. So kudos to me. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Same for. Okay, PubView API. Okay, shall we just comment on that then?
So that means because the API is with PubView, then we can forget about scripting the website, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Core API is always faster because when you scrape website, you actually got to download the page itself and pass the data. It's definitely slower lah. Than calling API. Yeah. See, now you can find the park view. You see, you call the API and you can retrieve it. Yeah. But you can see the values are pretty large. 1.4 megabyte for certain compounds. Yeah. You were right. Yeah, of course I'm right. I googled it. It returned 14.4 that matches glycerin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a computer scientist by training, Yaohong, or like?
No, I'm a finance guy.
Oh, you're a finance guy.
And
Then how do you
information
pick up-
systems major, please.
I usually downplay that. So prior to running my company, I was in a startup there for a couple of years, and I went to a VC, and then I saw the AI wave, and I decided, maybe it's time to build something again with what we learned over the last couple of years with AI.
Alrighty, it's time to review
work
the
is done.
results.
Yeah.
Okay, now Aidil, I need you to read this out for us and tell us your honest thoughts and opinions because we would not be able to judge this. So you are definitely, we are not taking you out of any job here.
So what we see over here is a very, very long Excel sheet. I think there are a few, close to 20 columns. What is in the first column is the ingredient name that we have provided. Second column is what it has processed that name to be so that it will return the right results in the database. Then what is very interesting here is that it's able to pick out what are the right chemical formula names. So what I'm seeing is quite amazing. What I'm seeing in my screen right now is not just what's at the name at the back of the bottle, but also the actual formula names that we will need to have. Then we can talk to our formulators. Oh, this is actually the ingredient that is being used by the competitors. Is it possible to synthesize it in the lab? Like, where can we source it from? What is the properties of this? So this is very useful information. What I wanted also the most, I think the most important column as well is the rightmost column, the function. Yes,
Okay, function.
Yes, the function is will let us know which ingredients are actually contributing to the kind of very thick or very flowy runny behavior that men don't really think about. Women are very, very, very sensitive to that. So the order in which they appear on the ingredient list as well is important. So I was talking to my friend, what can we do if we have this data? So what we can think about is how can we then cluster these products according to whether they are a bit more thick, a bit more thin, without running any lab experiments, no lab studies. Everything is everything is just from the computer itself, just what we can get from the public website. And you can imagine if that is successful, right? Then one study for 30 ingredients will take approximately 2 to 3 weeks. We are saving 2 to 3 weeks of lab time, lab data, by just looking at the ingredient analysis alone. If we can automate this process. So what I would imagine as the next step, take this and then push this to LLM or push this to Claude Code, whatever rep, and then ask, can we cluster the products by the ingredients, by their ingredient functions and the relative order in the ingredient list. So I would imagine that that's a very, very inspiring next step, I think, for us that we can explore.
My business brain is working. Can we turn this into product and sell to your
No, we are doing this
companies.
for intellectual curiosity. Please, please hold your horses.
Because you can save 2 to 3 weeks of lab time, right? So how much
Yeah, exactly.
can I charge for this?
Maybe if you were to just look, does it look like trash or?
No, it's not trash. Because this INCI decoder, the main terms that I was looking at is the surfactant, which is, if we go to the left, then it should link back to ingredient which has a sulfate in it. So a sanity check would be, for example, number 16 to the right. What we should be is a surfactant, yeah, because that's the main ingredient in your shampoo.
Surfactant, right?
Yes,
So
that's
that's
my
one.
sanity check.
Okay, so what we just did here in an hour or so was maybe something that would have taken 4 hours ish. So we saved like 3 hours, I think, for this.
And that's one time, yeah. So if you can just repeat this the next time.
Yeah.
Repeat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this 1 hour would have.
The next
saved
time will be
us a bit.
faster because you just upload the Excel
We
that
just
you want
upload,
to
and we already have
scan,
the
right?
script, right? To
Correct. You just run the script again.
yeah, that it will take
Yeah.
just a few seconds to get this something that would have taken the afternoon.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
also the next step is to continue refining it, right? Because you will want to freeze the columns and then take a look at whether it's accurate. And then if it's not, then you would want to continue to iterate on it. Okay, so there's a product profile sheets, which was what Aidil was saying will take how long? 2 to 3 weeks. And then there's also a product similarity sheets, right?
This is something
Yeah,
that,
cosine. Interesting.
yeah, this is something that would be easier for me to understand. So that means, like, for example, Pantene Pro V is very similar to Olaplex. Why that makes sense to me is that Pantene is a daily moisture, then the Olaplex is a maintenance shampoo. So what this tells me, just from the title alone, is that both are very highly conditioning. So women use them to make sure that their hair is soft and smooth. They don't use it to clean their hair. They use it to make sure that their hair is soft and smooth. Yeah. So that's why in terms of the ingredient, it's going to be very, very, very similar. So
I see.
yeah, it does make sense to me. I'm curious how they come up with this similarity table lah. Yeah, but I think that would be for another day.
Very cool. So technically you can find a similar shampoo that's cheaper and then replace it
Exactly.
in your toilet.
Yeah. Or you find
Idea,
a
right?
cheaper shampoo in your portfolio and then charge higher for it.
So I can scrape all the shampoos in the market and try and do an experiment like this. That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the time.
Okay.
This is quite eye-opening for me. And will take some time to digest, but I'm very happy with the results to see that something that would have taken a long time has the potential to just take a few seconds if we already develop the script. And I don't need to have knowledge about all this API or web scraping to get it done.
For us, we are not the experts
Chemist.
in this, and yet we are still able to help you out with this. So interesting that could open our eyes to this other aspect.
Yeah, I'm happy that the two of you guys were also very patient AIs as well, and taking in English.
What did you say?
All I'm gonna do now is to find all the stuff I have, scan the ingredients and try to make myself.
Share the script, then we can throw it into
So I'll ask Claude Code to generate the similar compound from the ingredient list. Save a lot of money, man. If I can make like all the facial products, it's gonna save a lot of money.
Try it and you let me know. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
then.
you so much.
But thanks so much, Aidil. Thanks, Yaohong.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it was very nice to chat with you guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching episode 5 of the Code Riff podcast. If you enjoyed what you've heard, please subscribe to us on whichever platform that you're on. And it would also really help if you could offer us a review, as that would really help more people find the podcast. Once again, if you would like to come on a pod with us and share your problem, feel free to fill up the Google form. You also can join our community on WhatsApp if you would like to just have a chat with us and see what we're up to these days. There is also a Substack that you can follow along, where we write our insights from the episodes that we have. And understand where AI can take us eventually in different industries and different walks of life. But yeah, thanks for joining us on the Code Riff podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.